Hi, guys. Good morning. Welcome back. Thank you for joining again. All right. Um, First of all, thank you everyone for subscribing and thanks for the congratulations as well. Yes, Swagman, I can. But for today, we will not. We can't. I need to show you some stuff, which more than likely you know already. But we'll just go through everything. I know you're all nervous. Well, most of you. Some are excited, some are nervous, some are super ready, and some are just thinking of killing it on Wednesday. You will. Later this evening, I am going to upload a very short video, probably 5 minutes or so, that will give you some tips on how to stay calm, how to be ready for your exam on Wednesday. Wednesday, I will be out. I will be at school outside cheering for my kids who are doing their exams. Well, both sets of kids. Some are doing geography in the morning, and the others are doing environmental science in the afternoon. So I will read all of your comments about the exam when I get home or when I get well, I'll just get some internet on my phone so I can see what's happening with you guys and you can tell me how the exam went. I am positive for you. I know that you are going to do well and I'm already feeling proud of you. So you will be perfectly fine. Okay? All right. So we have a lot of people today. Hi, I can't call names because, I'll call the names throughout our presentation. Today is a lot more interactive because you're going to have to tell me stuff. Yes, I'm going to cheer for everyone. I'm going to cheer for the Guyana students. I'm cheering for the Trini students. I'm cheering for the St. Martin students. I'm cheering for the St. Vincent and Grenadine students. I'm cheering for the St. Lucia students. I don't think, I hope I didn't forget anyone, but I am cheering for everybody. I'm proud of you guys. I feel like you're mine. I feel like you're my students, So we will do this. We got this. And we are going to do great on Wednesday. All right, so let's get to it. So, map work is not hard. The only thing with map work is that it is practical. So, if you're not a practical student, it may come difficult to you. Um, you can be a practical student with practice, but not every student is practical. There are different ways that children learn, and some just learn by viewing things, some learn by just listening to things, and some they have to actually do it to get it. So, those students that actually have to do things in order to learn them, they will do excellent at map work. The other persons, it might be a little struggle for you, but once you get the steps, you will remember how to do them. So for the people who learn just by looking, I'll show you how to do it. And the persons who learn by hearing, I'll tell you how to do it, and then I will give you some steps that will assist you in remembering what to do. And it's a multiple choice exam, so a lot of the things you don't want to go deep into, you just need to get it out of the way quickly. And don't bother to finish the exam early and feel like, oh, I'm good. No. Check over your work and check over your work and check over your work again. But I think you got this. Okay? So let us begin. So yes, big up to the Barbados crew and the Jamaica crew and the Grenada crew. So I did not forget anyone. So we are good and we are about to begin. So first you are looking at the content for the syllabus. All right, so if you did not have the syllabus before, now that you are seeing it, you know from the physical crash course and the human geography crash course, you know that it gives you every single thing that you need to learn. Okay? So if you have some friends who are in grade 10 or form 4, you can ensure that they hit me up as well. I will certainly assist them in the next school year. So while I'm teaching my kids and I'm making videos for my kids, I will just hook them up as well, and it is really not a problem. So you can send those Form 4 kids and the grade 10s, same thing, so that I can introduce them to the syllabus from early so they know what it looks like, what is on it, so they already know what should be covered in class. All right? So here's the syllabus. We start off with maps here. It gives us, first thing, let me zoom in a little. It gives us essential elements of a map. So we know these. We should know these. Elements of a map. Each map should have a title, a scale, legend, north arrow, and a border. Placement of labels and the use of colors. So on the questions that we've seen so far, we have not seen any multiple choice question that is asking us about the map elements. But since it's on the syllabus, even so, we'll just tell what each of the element is for. We know that we have 5 of them. The title is showing you what the map is about. The scale is telling you the measurement in relation of the maps, of the items on the map in relation to the things on the actual ground. We have seen a question relating to this a little in relation to scale, which says, if it gave you a scale of 1 to 50,000, and then it gave you the 4 options for you to choose what it is, what that scale is saying. So the answer was that 1 unit on the map represents 50,000 units on the ground. So that is the only question I've seen that is very, very close to this in relation to this specific objective. The legend, that is your key. You know how to work the key. We've done this part already. So you know that you look in the key once it has been provided and you see what the options are, what it is showing you, what the items represent, what the items mean on the map, and then you are better able to answer whatever question comes up. So some of the symbols, well, all of the symbols, you should already know this. You should already know the symbols in your head. So you can just look at a map real quick and you see the symbol for marshes or salt marsh. And right away, you know that that area is a salt marsh. So everything starts flowing in your brain and you know that, all right, nobody should be living in that specific area, or that area cannot have a lot of development, etc. So just by knowing the map symbols offhand, other things will just flow in your brain. All right. So we're going to go through the map symbols a little as well. The main ones, colors that you need to look out for, and so on. So your map is going to be in black and white. If it was a paper 2 where you would get the actual big map, then we would really need to go through colors, etc. But we don't need to do that at the moment. Your north arrow, which is showing you where north is on the map, and your border. Yeah, so that would cover it. Placement of labels, meaning exactly where on the map these should have been placed. But again, we have not seen anything relating to this. We have not seen anything relating to this on the exam papers. Okay? So we don't have any questions yet from you guys. That is cool. I still seen people saying they're nervous. No need to be. I will upload that video in the afternoon so that you can, just breathe, be calm. So you'll get to see it. Tomorrow is Tuesday. What I'm going to do for tomorrow, I will do a live tomorrow, but it is not a live for me to teach, really. It is a live for you to just ask your questions, and then I will answer and explain and clear up any little misconceptions that you have been seeing. So we will do a live tomorrow. It will just be for your questions that you want to ask. If someone else asks a question and someone else wants to answer it just to see if they really got this, then that is perfectly fine. So that's what we'll do tomorrow. No, nothing too strong to get you stressed out, but just so that we can cover our bases. Okay? And then now, Tuesday night, tomorrow night, we will do absolutely nothing. We will go to bed. All of us, me and you. You will pack all of your stuff for your exams. You'll take out your timetables. You will take out your pencils. You will take out your ID. You will do everything that you need to. You will take out your shoes, your socks, your school tie, everything. You'll just put everything in that one place so that when you wake up Wednesday morning, quick and fast, you'll be right out and you will be on time for your exam so that you can be good. Okay? All right, let's begin. Grid references. So we have two types of grid references. We have 4-figure and we have 6-figure grid references. Before we jump into the 6-figure grid references, we will just talk about map symbols for a little. They are easy for you to know. Well, if you have been looking at them already. And the thing with the map symbols is you don't have to know them, especially for this exam. So you need to ensure that you pay attention to your key specifically. All right? welcome. All right, guys, my apologies. Sorry about that. I am still at work, technically. So I may just jump out from time to time to answer my cell phone or something like that because I am still at work. Um, so yeah, my apologies. So let us just jump into this here. So for the map symbols, I was saying that you don't necessarily need to know them because the good thing about the key is that it shows you everything. So you are able to see what each thing represents, and then you can apply that to the map that you are shown. The positive side of already knowing your map symbols is that it's easier for you and you will work a lot faster throughout your multiple choice exam. So you have 60 questions and then you have 90 minutes to answer the 60 questions. So you basically have 1.5 minutes for each question. So if you know the map symbols and you can finish a question in less than the 1.5 minute, then you will be in a better standing. So when there is a question that will take up the entire 1.5 minute or a question that will take up 2 minutes, at least you would have made up for it somewhere else. So it is important to know the little things. Okay? All right. Map symbols. Oh, okay. Hold on. All right, so I just said this basically. Every map would have a key or a legend. It For the maps that you are going to be seeing on your paper one, they are just, well, we've seen them. They're just little tiny things. There's not a whole lot of things in your key either. Maybe 4 or 5 little things that you need to look at. You just need to pay attention to. You see the maps that will have, we've seen some of these questions where they ask you where you should, if you were to extend your city, or if you were to extend the town area, where, in what direction would you extend it into? Those questions, those are the ones that require the most knowledge about your map symbols, really. So you would know that you're not going to be extending your town into a swampy area, or you would know that you're not extending your town into an area that has very, very steep cliff. You would also know that you should not extend your town in an area that where mining is taking place, things like that. So that is the importance of knowing the map symbols. And as far as I've seen, in relation to your paper ones, it's easy for you to cover. Okay? So conventional map symbols, I have displayed a few of them. We know them already. The road, minor road, secondary road, footpath, church. There are other symbols for church, but we just have these here. Hospital. What else might be of interest? The trig stations. These might be of interest in the paper one exam, as well as your contour lines. Are we allowed to bring rulers and protractors? Yes, you are allowed to bring rulers and protractors for the exam. You can also ask for your strip of paper. You can just ask for that little strip of paper that you need to use when you are measuring distance. They will give that to you as well. What else? So you need your protractor, you need your pencil, more than one pencils. You need your ID, your timetable. What else? That's about it, really. You will not get to use any calculators. I don't think so. I don't remember. Hmm. Um, I don't remember about the calculators, but I'll check for you. I'll check to be 100% sure. Um, yeah, I think so. But as I said, I will check to be 100% sure if you are actually going to be able to take the calculators with you. So those are the conventional map symbols. Other things that we have seen already, we have seen the quarry on the paper ones that we have done so far. We have seen the marshes as well and little bridges, etc. So I'm seeing somebody says, yes, miss, we can use the calculators. Okay. The next thing on the syllabus is four-figure grid reference. So let me just jump to four-figure grid reference really quickly. There is four-figure grid reference and there is six-figure grid reference. The purpose of these really is so that you can identify the specific location of something, right? That is the main purpose of the four-figure grid reference. So you're identifying the location, and then if you need to get a deeper meaning or a more specific point, then you would get into your six-figure grid reference. So for the six-figure grid reference, it's basically as if you are zooming in closer into that grid that you had initially. That is going to assist you in getting that six-figure grid reference. So here we go with the four-figure first. So how the grid reference works: grid of squares, it helps you to locate a place, it pinpoints a specific location within a square. So there are two lines that are of major importance. Here we have the easting lines and the northing lines. These two names, they pop up on the multiple choice exams pretty often. They get their name based on the direction that the numbers increase in. So I know it can get a little confusing. So they are called northings. So you think that the lines should be running a particular way, but that's not how they get their names. All right. So for Eastings, they get their names because the numbers increase in an easterly direction. So the numbers would have increased towards the east. So these would have been your vertical lines, but the numbers increase towards the east. Then you have your northings. Let's look at eastings first. Vertical lines across the map from the top to the bottom, they're called eastings because the numbers increase eastwards. So these blue lines that I have here, these would have been your eastings. And then if you notice the numbers, you have 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So they are increasing towards the east. Then we have our northings. Northings, these are your horizontal lines. So they are going in the same direction as the horizon. They're going across from one side to the next. They're called northings because the numbers increase towards the north. So you have 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. So they increase towards this way. That is why they're called northings. So we have certainly seen these on the paper ones before, so you can ensure that you pay attention to those. Sheman is asking, do you believe we will be getting anything in depth about volcanoes? It is very possible. The questions that we've seen so far relating to volcanoes are something like answer the follow. Hold on. which of the following is true about volcanoes? And then they give you the four options and you choose from them. One of the ones that we've seen so far is they said all volcanoes are violent. Volcanoes are found close to plate margins, things like that. And you're supposed to pick the one that is not true. We've also seen other volcano questions relating to the type of volcano. We've seen volcano questions relating to, for you to label things on the volcano, relating to the volcano. We've seen questions relating to intrusive features, extrusive volcanic features, for you to identify them, as well as for you to just state which one is not an intrusive feature or which one is not an extrusive feature, things like that. What else in relation to volcano? We've seen a question in relation to volcanoes relating to which of the following is a benefit of volcanic activity, and then the options would have been listed there, and you choose the one that is beneficial to the people or to the economy. I think it was in relation to the economy that the question was asked. So they gave you options like it increases soil fertility, it increases economics for the country, things like that. They would have asked you. Yeah, I think that's it relating to volcanoes. Miss, do you believe we'll be getting questions relating to earthquakes? Yeah, guys, the question is tomorrow, but that's okay. Questions relating to earthquakes. Yes, there are questions relating to earthquakes usually. From the past papers that we have done so far, we have seen earthquake related questions for you to identify different parts of the anatomy of an earthquake. So you identify which part is the focus, which part is showing the seismic waves, things like that. There are questions that are asking you to identify which one is an effect of earthquake activity. Identify in relation to plate tectonics, for you to identify what area earthquake would possibly be found. We saw that for volcano as well. What area volcanoes would possibly be found. Another one for plate tectonics is that they would show you the plates. They would show you the arrows for the plate for you to determine what type of plate it is, for you to determine what type of features would have been formed as a result of the plate margin that is there, as well as for you to identify the types of features that are shown in the picture that they show you. So there's a video that I did already about multiple choice exams for geography. That video, it basically assisted you in pointing out how much map work questions you can expect, what other type of questions you can expect from the papers, the persons who have been with us all along, and the papers that we have been through all along. We would realize from time to time that sometimes we get to question number 30 and we are still doing map work or reading graphs or some form of labeling, something relating to diagrams, etc. Sometimes all the way up to 30-35 questions of that before you actually get into anything really from human geography. So there is a lot of that there. You can watch that video. It will certainly assist you in getting further insight on the multiple choice exam for geography. So we know, back to the slide, we know what eastings are, we know what northings are. So there is another question. Yes, all the lives are saved afterwards, so you can get a chance to review. Um, okay. I'm back. Let me know if you can hear me. I'm having lots of little issues and glitches and stuff. So when we get kicked off or whatever, you can hang on if you want to, or you can rejoin at another time or something like that. But we'll get to it eventually. Okay? Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, great. Blue dye pie. I am sure that you are a boy. You remind me of a boy that I taught once. Um, all right, so let's just get right to it then. So we know what eastings are, we know what northings are, and we have done them before on several of the past papers. So we know that, well, we're kind of expecting it, so we know that we need to pay attention to it. Okay? Um, we know what northings are as well. How you do it on an actual map for the four-figure grid reference. I like to use the capital letter L. So you always get it right. You cannot possibly get it wrong. So if you're writing the capital letter L, you always start from the top part. You always start from here. So you start from here and go down, and then you start from here and go across. So that is your capital letter L. So that is how you find your 4-figure grid reference. So let us say we are finding the location of Lake Cedric here, which is in the example. If you're using capital letter L, you would read this line first, which is your easting line. So this line is line 21. So you'd read this line first for the box that it is in, and then you're making a L, so you read the next line going across for the box that it is in, and then you would get your answer. So that is 21 here and 39 here. So your answer for your 4-figure grid is 2139. All right. So once you're using the capital letter L, you are good to go. This is another example for the information desk here. This line going down for the capital letter L, which is 47. This line going across, which is 33. So your answer would have been 4733. So here we go. I need answers from you guys. Somebody give me the parking. Just when you're answering, just write in which one you're answering to. So give me the answer for 4-figure for parking, campsite, public telephone, windmill, and the public house. So again, our key is here. So some of the symbols are not conventional. So you actually have to look for the key. So your parking, this is your parking. Parking is right here. This is your campsite. Campsite is up here. This is your telephone. Right in here. Windmill. Here. And the public house. For PH, it is here. So where are your answers, guys? I'm not seeing any answers just yet. Come on. It's 4-figure grid. So it's easy. Easier than 6. All right. So some people saying it kind of blurry, can't see the numbers. That's okay. So parking, we have 0940, somebody says. Okay. So parking is here, 0941 actually. 0941 for parking. Remember, you're just doing L, come down, and then you go across. Campsite, this one, 0642. So we have Jason getting that right, Richardson getting that right, Gianna Smith getting that right as well. 0941 for parking, I'm seeing that now. Starburst getting parking right as well. Curtly getting campsite right as well. So public telephone now, which is here, it is 0940 for public telephone. And windmill, this symbol here, it is 0839. You get the point. So once you're using the capital letter L and you do it right around the grid that you are actually looking for something in, then you would have had your 4-figure grid reference. Okay? So we are going to do 6-figure now. So for 6-figure, on your multiple choice exam, you can't go through, well, you can do all of the drawing up of your lines, etc. But this is where the process of elimination really comes in. So the first thing you do on your multiple choice when they ask you for a 6-figure is that you find your 4-figure. When you find your 4-figure and you're sure of it, you eliminate the others that do not fit. You will realize that from time to time, it may be that once you find your 4-figure grid reference, you find your answer. So you may not even need to go any further to figure out the other two numbers for the 6-figure grid. But just in case there are two answers with the correct 4-figure, you now look at the other numbers that they have given you to see which one is your answer. So you don't have to try to split up your box like how you would normally do on one of the larger maps. Just look at the options that they have given you, and then you will figure out which one of those is your answer. If it looks like it is way too close, then you can draw up your box or you can use your ruler to figure your answer out. Okay? All right, so 6-figure grid reference, this the same way that you have your 4-figure grid reference and you're reading your eastings first. So this would have been the first line that you read, which is 64. It means that going across to get your other easting number, that third number, it would still need to be the one that is an easting as well. So it needs to be one of these vertical lines just the same. So that is how you end up with your number 6, because when you split up your box, 64 here, which would next go to 65, you have the spaces in here that you're accounting for. So you have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So everything that falls in this vertical column here would have been 6. So that is how we ended up with the 6 here. Same thing for 50. 50, the numbers increase towards the north. So for you finding your third number, it should increase towards the north just the same. So you have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Everything in this grid square would have been 4. That is how we end up with 4 for the answer. All right. So you're not going to divide up so much for your paper 1 exam. So we don't need to go through that much. Okay. Let me know if you understand the 6-figure so we can just move on real quickly so we don't have to go through all of this. Okay. Just put a comment so we know if you get the 6-figure so we can move on. All right, so we're good. Okay. Look at this one. Try this one. What is the 6-figure grid reference for the information desk? So you are seeing the information desk. You're not able to cut up your boxes or anything. You just simply need to look at the options that are here and then you select the one that is the correct answer. So what is the 6-figure grid reference for the information desk? Remember how I told you to do it for the paper 1 exam? First thing that you do, find your 4-figure. Then after you find your 4-figure, you eliminate. Then you figure out your answer. using the options that they give you. So what is your answer for this one, for the information desk? Whoa, okay, I see A, which I'm assuming is this one here. Then I see B, which would be this one here. Then I see 476334. Then I see A, and I'm seeing B again. So I don't think you guys understand. So let's do this again, okay? Four-figure grid reference, you're gonna use the capital letter L. So let us say we're trying to find this thing here, which is our information desk. It means that we're doing a letter L around this same box. So my L would start right here, so where my cursor is. So I would draw my line, come down like this for my L. So the first line that I'm drawing, the number for that line is 47. Right? That is the number that represents the line that I'm drawing for 47. So this is my line come down like this. So my first number that I'll write down for my four-figure grid reference is 47. Then now, for the second part of my capital letter L, because I did this part already come down, and then I do this part to go across here. So this line also has a number. My number for this line is 33. So my four-figure grid reference would have been 47, 33. That is my four-figure grid reference. Now, in order to find the six-figure grid reference, it is your first line that you draw plus something else to get to the specific point that it is at. And then the second line that you draw plus that other number to get you to the specific point that it is at. So I have my 47 as my first four-figure grid reference, first number for the four-figure grid reference. So remember, this line is going down just the same like a L. So this is my easting line. It means I need to find another specific easting line that is touching the symbol. So I would go from here and then I count 0 for the space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See? And then I'm at 6, which is where my information desk is. So then I would write down 476 for the first part of my six-figure grid reference. Then for the other part where I had 33, remember that my number increases towards the north. So similarly, after my 33 and something else are going to come up to find the something else, just the same. So I have 33, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is how I would end up with my 4 here. So my second part of my six figure would have been 3, 3, and then 4. That is how I would write it. So now, when you're doing your multiple choice exams, they will give you your 4 options and they tell you to find the six-figure grid reference. The first thing that you are going to do is to find the 4-figure. So you do it like you're writing capital L, that is 47 and then 33. Then now you go and look in the options that they give you. You look for the 47 and you look for the 33, but you have to set them correctly. Okay? So you look for your 47 and you look for your 33. With this one, there is only one option for you because you have this starting your 47, you have this for your 33. So the other two options would have been out completely. You would have eliminated them. So you would have already found your answer without having to work out the other part to find the six-figure grid reference. So sometimes it happens that way where it is easy for you and you don't have to work out the entire thing. Once you know your 4-figure, then you would be good to go. Or you'd eliminate the options and then you would find the 2 that you need to work with. Okay? So for the persons who said they did not get the 6-figure, please let me know if you understand it now. I have watered it down a bit for the paper one exam, because if you were doing paper two, you would need a little more information. But for the paper one exam, this is all you need to know, because you are going to ensure that you're doing it quickly, since you only have 1.5 minutes for each question. Okay, so let me know if you understand. So I am seeing quite a number of persons with the correct answer now. I'm seeing lots of people. Too many names. Giovanni, Slay, Alia, Badu, Makisha, Shadron, Brown, Christine, Camille, tell me if you're good now. Deron, Tyrese, David, Swagman, Sunita. All right, everybody. Everybody got it right. Tyrese, tell me if you're good now as well. All right, so Tyrese got B, so Tyrese is good, it seems. Eastern, and Northern. All right, so yeah, it seems like we are all good with the six figure. If you're not good, tell me, so we can figure out another way to explain it to you. Okay, so we are moving on from the six figure grid reference. This one, try this one as well. What is the six figure grid reference for the church? So this is the church right here. It might be hard for you to see the numbers, but if it's not hard for you to see the numbers, just drop your answer in the comment section below. There is another video that I want to introduce you to, how to study at the last minute. That should also assist you. That is what we have been doing really for our last minute studies. After you watch the video, you will realize that that is exactly what we have been doing for the past week or for the past 2 weeks. We have been utilizing these tips in order to ensure that we are ready. So I have placed that video inside the chat section, so you can check that out as well. It's titled How to Study for Your Exams at the Last Minute. So you don't have to use it for the geography exam only. You can use it for any exam at all in this time when it's already exam time and it's the time almost catch up on you already. Okay, so yes, I'm seeing that most persons have gotten it correct, so that means we are good to go. All right, so for this one that I just asked you to do, I'm seeing some answers. Oh, hold on. I don't know how to do that. Feel free to teach me. Somebody said Roshane is asking me to spam the link. I don't even know what that means. So you can let me know. Okay, remember I'm completely new at this. I'm just trying to help out. So let me know what that means and then I'll try to do it. All right. So for the church here, we have, when we're going down here, we would see that this is 32. And then for the other part of the four figure, it's 46. So it's 32, 46. So already we have 46, 32, 32, 46. So already our answer would have been B, 32, 46, because none of the other options match up. So we don't even need to do anything else. So yeah, the answer for this one is B. remember that you are doing the easting lines first at all times, or you're pretending as if you're writing a capital letter L. So you would come down like this and then you go across. So when you come down like this, your answer, the option that you have for this one, would come all the way down. That would have been 32. And then you go across, that would have been 46. Okay? So let's jump out of six figure. We don't need to go through this anymore. I think we are good to go. The other part on the next thing on the syllabus, just a second. The next thing on the syllabus, I think, was compass direction and angular bearing. So there are a lot of questions relating to this, compass points and angular bearing. Well, not a lot, but you can be sure that every single paper one that has been done, there is a question on it on compass direction, and there is a question on it on angular bearing as well. So that is what we are going to be looking at now. Guys, do me a favor and just drop the name of the school that you are from. Well, school and country, because I know we're all over the place. Just drop the name of the school and the country that you are from while we are going through this, okay? So, labeling the 16-point compass. You have to know the things. You have to know where the things are in order to get it correct. First thing is we know north, east, south, and west. In other words, sometimes we say never eat sour worms, and people use different things to help them to remember. We do it this way, never eat sour worms, because we always go in a clockwise direction. So this is it. This is the direction that we would go in. That's north, east, south, and west. So we have, okay, Tutorial High School in Guyana, Arden, that's in Jamaica, Trinidad Northeastern College, Old Arbor High in Jamaica, Guyana, I don't know what that is, Stanislaus College, maybe, Mobe High, that's in Montego Bay, Jamaica. It's funny, I don't see any of my kids, but it's okay. I think they're ready. Tuna Puna Secondary in Trinidad, CWSS Linden in Guyana, Camperdown in Jamaica, Hope Secondary in Guyana, St. Vincent Girls High, Stewartville Secondary, Christchurch Secondary, JC, not the Jamaica JC, but JC Shandising Secondary in Guyana, North Georgetown Secondary, Coleridge and Parry, Barbados, Diamond Secondary, Guyana, WSS in Trinidad, Camille's Institute in Guyana, St. Rose's High in Guyana, St. Vincent, St. Joseph Convent, okay, Gwendolyn Van Putten School, Asia Boys College, Thomas Saunders Secondary, Manchester High in Jamaica, Trinidad Rio Claro West Secondary, Herbert Morrison, that's in Montego Bay, Jamaica, Donald Quarry, Jamaica, Presentation Brothers College in Grenada, Girls High School St. Vincent, New Silver City Secondary, Guyana, Trinidad St. Augustine Secondary, Charlestown Secondary in Guyana, Skeldon Line Path. Hey guys, I remember you. Nice to see you. Oh, here we go. Mount Alvernia High School in Jamaica, the Queen School in Jamaica, Kingston College, St. Vincent, Saunders Secondary, Port 14, Guyana, Queen's College, that's Queens in Guyana, not Jamaica. Woolmer's Boys, Jamaica. St. Joseph, Guyana. Woolmer's again. Central High, Jamaica. Queen's School, Jamaica. Yes, Fortune. That is another way that we remember North, East, South, and West. Never ever smoke any of those stuff. Central High School, Queen School in Jamaica. So we have people from both Queen School, Jamaica and Guyana, Meadowbrook, Jamaica, I'm assuming, and Southeast Trinidad. And AMOSC, I don't know what that one is or where it is, and School for Special Needs for Cambridge. Okay. All right, so we know the 4-point compass. We know where they are. We know how they set everything. So we are moving on to, oh Lord, what is happening here? All right, guys, we are stuck. Again, something else is happening. Yeah, we're stuck. Either way, we will continue. So are you guys hearing me? Guess not. Another day bleeds into night falls, and I hear to the whisper of I wanna go down. Okay, great. All right, so we will just pick up right where we left off. So we know this part already. North, east, south, and west. We are always going to be going in a clockwise direction. So we are going to move on to the 8-point compass and filling into the 16-point compass. So we know how to draw this already. I think we should. If you don't know how to draw it, let me know because I don't want to go through all of it. But so you have the 4-point compass. We know that already because we know easy ways to remember it. That is like north, east, south, and west. What you really do for the 8-point compass is that you draw 2 lines in between. So we have one here and we have another one here. And basically what you're doing is adding this with this in order to get the next option in between. So the north and south are the most important, so they will always go first. So when you're adding this one and this one, you're not going to have east, then south. You're not going to have east, south. You will put this one first because it's most important. So you have southeast. Okay, so we have northeast in here, southeast in here, southwest in here, and then northwest in here. That would have given us our 8-point compass. Then we move on to our 16-point compass. So this is our 8. We would create other lines in between, which will give us our 16 points. So if you notice, you are drawing a line between everyone that you have already. So this will give you 16 points that you need to give the cardinal points for. So similarly, what we did around the other side, on the other slide, we added the 2 things to get the letter in between here. So similarly, we would do the same thing. So we have north and then we have northeast. So we would put them together, same order, north, northeast. For these now, at first we said north and south were the most important. Then we would have secondary to them east and west. So that means if it's just one of these 8 points, it means the 4-point one would come first. So for these options here, we would have east, then northeast, east, southeast, and then we would continue filling them in. So yeah, if you have any questions about the options, you can let me know. So we also have Emmanuel High School, that is Mesopotamia in St. Vincent. There were some other schools that I never actually called out because, we had a little issue, but I see you. So this is our 16-point compass, all labeled up nicely. If you have any questions about this, you can let me know. Now here comes the part for your paper one. You will get a question that says, what is the compass direction from somewhere to somewhere else? The first thing you need to do, well, I gave you some steps here. We need to identify the word from. I did a video on this in its entirety. So if you're not sure, you can rewatch it. I think it's called finding compass direction or something like that. So you identify the word from. So the question says, what is the direction of the church from the girl? If you're from somewhere, for the people who are from St. Vincent or from Jamaica or from Trinidad, that is basically your starting point. That is where you were born. That is why you say that is where you are from. So yeah. So, in this case, what is the direction of the church from the girl? It means our starting point is at the girl, and we're finding the direction of the church. Yeah. So that is why we have the girl at the center here, because this is where we're starting, and we will draw our north-south line here, and then we fill in all of the other options. So I am seeing the correct answers already. That is Swagman, Cambridge, and Karishma. So that is east. Okay. So here we go. What is the direction of the apple tree from the girl? So everything is from the girl. That is how you would have given your answers, because wherever it is from, you would draw your north-south line in that specific area. So here we are with a map. The question says, what is the direction of the soccer field at the bottom there, of the soccer field from the ice cream stand? So first thing you do, you identify your starting point, which is, so step one, identify your starting point, which is right here, because it said from the ice cream stand. And then we identify the other area that we are going to, which is our soccer field. So we draw a north-south line at our starting point. That's right down the middle there. Then we are going to move on to step 3, where we connect the 2 points. So far we've identified our starting point. We have drawn the north-south line at our starting point, and then we draw a line to connect the 2 points. Once you've connected the 2 points, then if you don't already know your answer, because remember, it is multiple choice, so you can figure it out and you can look at your options and see what you're working with, right? If you don't already know your answer, then you can draw in an east-south line that will help you, to figure out exactly what your response is. And after you've done that, you should be able to estimate your answer. So that would have been your final step. And the answer for this one, like everyone is saying, hold on, I see people giving me northeast, people giving me southeast, northeast, northeast, northeast. First of all, north would have been up here. Yeah? It would have been up here, anywhere up here. South is anything that is under here. So I have south right there. Then I have my east section right there. That is the southeast right in the middle there. So my answer for this one, let me see if anybody got it yet. Okay, so Cambridge got it. South, southeast, and then hold on. Cambridge, hold on. East, southeast. Cambridge did not get it. So we have Nicholas Edwards, Shaniqua Campbell, Slay, no Slay, Deron, Shadron, Ronaldo, Analea, and Nicholas. So that is our answer. So if you want, I can just run through the steps again. Well, I can tell you them. You get your question, identify a starting point, which is where you're leaving from. Once you've identified your starting point, then you draw your north-south line at the area where you're starting from. Connect the 2 points. If you can just connect the 2 points and guess your answer based on the options that you're given, then you can go ahead and do that. If not, you put in your east-west line, and then you can put in any of the other entire 16-point compass if you want to, until you're able to correctly give your answer. Okay? Shemon, keep calm. Just keep calm. You would just need to look at the options that you're given, and then you will be fine. Okay? Here we go. So we are moving on. Well, this is just a reminder. We can see there. So we're moving on to angular bearings. Let me know if you all got the compass direction part of things, because I'm seeing some people with some answers that are a little off. So if you get it now, let me know so I can just move on to angular bearings real quick. And it should be easier for you when you are doing the multiple choice, because the options would have been there for you. So the most important thing for you to do is to pay attention to each question. Remember that you have 1.5 minutes technically for each question. If you're going to be very technical, that is 90 entire seconds to complete your question. So just take your time. Okay, so everybody got it? Everybody got it. All right, so somebody's nightmare is coming up. Hey, you need emotional support. We got you. Guys, just send him a nice little emoji. So one of those hug ones, so he can get some emotional support. Okay? All right, so angular bearings, here we go. Angular bearings, first thing, it is so similar to compass direction. No big one big difference is that you're actually using a tool to find your answer, and it is angles. Just like it suggests, you have angular bearings, so your answer should be in degrees. And what you're really doing is measuring an angle. That's all. That's it. That is all. All you're doing is measuring an angle. Okay? So don't need to sweat it. Okay, so what we need to know, angles in an entire circle measure 360 degrees. We know that already from maths or yeah, maths. Yeah. So we have 16 points because it is a 16-point compass. So to get a little technical now, we divide the 16 points by the 360 degrees. Oh Lord. Keep calm, Tyrese. We divide the 360 degrees by the 16 points. So each point, each angle at each point measures 22.5 degrees. So that means up here, so where we start at north would have been our 0. But as we continue, we would have this angle measuring 22.5. Each angle measures 22.5, but as you add them up, then you would work it out all to your 360 degrees. Okay, so look at this. North is 0 degree. Northeast would have been the 0 degree plus the 22.5 degree for the angle, which would give you a bearing of 22.5 degrees. Northeast would have been, remember, you're always starting from 0, always starting from north. So regardless of the angle that we're looking at, we are measuring it from the 0 degree line, that is from your north line, all the way to whatever angle it is. That is why we keep adding on these 22.5 degrees. So East northeast would be 45 degrees plus the 22.5 degrees, which would give you 67.5, etc. Let me ask you, how many of you actually know the bearing for each compass point already? Because that will help you significantly. All right, good. So some people know it, some people do not know it. For the people who do not know it, it just means that it will take you a little longer to do your exam, a little longer on these questions. So Swagman, let me know if you're good. Let me know if you're understanding me so far. Okay? But this is good for you to remember because you can easily look at your multiple choice answers and figure out what the answer is without ever touching the protractor, any at all. Okay? So remember, all you're doing is adding 22.5 each time. So we know in our brains already that angles on a straight line measure 180 degrees, right? So we're starting at 0, which is north. On that straight line, if we were to measure that angle, that means south at the bottom would have been 180 degrees. We know that a right angle measures 90 degrees. So that means if we're starting from 0, which is north, and we're coming across to east, it means then that east is 90 degrees. So we have 0, then we have 90 degrees for east. Halfway through east, which is northeast, would have been half of the 90 degree. So that is 45 degrees. So it gives you a pretty good idea in your head of where the things are located and what possible bearing each of them would have. Okay? So anything that is on the eastern side, it's 180 degrees or less. Anything that is on the western side of the compass, it is between 181 degrees and 360. You can look at it that way. West itself is 270 degrees. So if you get a question and when you draw your north-south line on it and you're doing it like a compass direction, when you draw up your compass points on it, you should be able to have a pretty good idea of what the bearing is going to be. So just by looking at the options that they give you, you should be able to see your answer in there. If it is above, if it is between west and north over that side, that means it is between 270 degrees and 360 degrees. Yeah? If it is between south and west, right in that angle there, so it means your answer for bearing is between 180 degrees and 270 degrees. So that is what it is supposed to look like. So look at this here. We have north at 0, right? So this would have been our right angle right here, which would have given us east at the 90. Halfway through the 90, we have the 45 degrees. So this is our long straight line here that separates it into east and west. If you are doing your angular bearing and your your point falls anywhere over this side, that means your answer is between 0 to 180 degrees. If it falls closer to down this side, anywhere in between here, that means your answer is between 90 to 180 degrees. So all you need to do is look at the options that they give you for your question, and then you would be able to figure out what the answer is. So the same question that we did for the compass direction, we're going to do the same question for angular bearing, just the same, because we already know what the answer is, but I just want you to figure it out. Okay? All right. So first step, just the same thing. We identify our starting point. Question says, what is the bearing of the soccer field from the ice cream stand? Ice cream stand is right there. Next step, we draw our north-south line at the starting point, which is right there, just the same. Next step, we connect the 2 points. There we go. So it's the same thing that we did already. After you've connected your 2 points, we are measuring an angle. So you're gonna place your protractor along the north-south line. So that's where you're seeing your protractor there now. That is where you would place your protractor. I'm assuming that you know how to use a protractor. So we don't, well, maybe. So let me tell you how to use the protractor. So this is your protractor here. We have 2 sets of numbers, a set of number on the outside, a set of number on the inside. Yeah? On the outside, we are using those numbers. We have 0 at the top here. That would have been our north. And we have south at the bottom there. That is our north-south line that we just drew basically. So that would have been our south. Then now, this specific point right in here, we're going to place that on the actual area where our 2 lines connect. So that is it right there on the actual area that our 2 lines connect. Now the angle that our protractor, the angle that we're actually measuring, or our protractor is measuring, is from the north to wherever the other line is. So this is the angle that we're measuring. So based on that, all you do, you look to see where the line passes through on the outside set of numbers, because you're starting from 0 all the way around to your outside set of numbers, and then you write down your answer. That is all. Okay? If you have any questions about that one, let me know. So that is where you would just look where your line passes through right here, and then you just write down your answer. So that's 114 degrees. So some persons are saying 122, 112.5. All right. The thing with angular bearing is that it gives you a very, very specific measurement. So even though in our heads we know what east, south, east measures, when we put the protractor on it, it will give us a more specific measurement. But knowing it in your head already, what the measurement is and where it falls, it allows you to look for your answer that is correct. So you don't even have to work it out per se. So all of the people that wrote down the 112.5, that's very, very good. It means that you were just looking at the compass direction and trying to figure out the answer. So you will be able to do that in your exam, and it will make things a lot faster for you. Okay? If you have any questions about compass direction, angular bearing, let me know. So people saying how 114. Did you get it now how it's a 114? +90 plus 22.5 would have given you east, southeast, yes. But when you're doing angular bearing, it is more specific. So that is why the actual measuring with your protractor would have been necessary. When you're doing angular bearing, you're basically trying to find out which one of the 16 compass points that area is closest to. So it doesn't always fall on one specific compass point, but you're looking for which one it is closest to. So when you have the protractor now and you're doing the angular bearing, you don't have to look which point it is closest to. You would have used the protractor to measure it to give you the exact bearing that it is, the exact measurement of the angle. But if you can already estimate it because you know the measurement for each, because you know the bearing for each of the compass points, then you can just look at the options that CXC would have given you, and then you would find that your answer is a whole lot easier to find, and you will finish it a whole lot faster as well. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, you can let me know. I don't see any other questions. Yeah. Yes, diaries. So you were just approximating, you are guessing, you're doing an educated guess, really, which is great. But because I use a protractor, it gives you the specific measurement. So in the exam, the options that you get are not going to be so close, where they give you 112.5 and then they give you 114. It will not be so close. I've never seen one like that. So once you look at it and you figure out where it is, if in your mind you say, all right, east southeast is 112, the answer closest to that you're gonna see is the 114. The other option might be 270, might be 45 or something like that. So you know already which one is your answer. Okay? All right, so most people get it. Somebody said they'll memorize the thing then. Yeah, you can do that. But it's kind of a little late, for you to actually memorize them. But at least you know already how to add the 22.5 each time to get the answer that you need. And you also know that north is 0, east is 90, south is 180, west is 270. So that will help you to figure out where your answer falls in that. All right. If there are no questions, we will move on. So we did grid reference already, so we can just skip through that. We can do measuring straight line distances. We have seen some questions on the past paper as well relating to the measuring of distances. For the multiple choice, I don't see where they have asked you to measure any curved line distances at all. I've not seen that any at all. We have seen, though, the straight line distances. For you to measure the straight line, for you to measure a straight line for um, measure a straight line just to write down the answer for itself, or to measure a straight line for you to do a gradient question or something like that. So measuring straight line distances. Well, this one, very straightforward. This is where your strip of paper would come in. You would need to pay attention to your scale, and then once you find your scale, you know that you need to identify the 2 points that you are going to be measuring the distance between. So you'll get a question and it will say, what is the straight line distance of from the road? Hold on. What is the straight line distance from the church to the school? Something like that. All you need to do, get your strip of paper, lay down your strip of paper along that area between where did I say? The church and the school. Then you mark off your church on your paper and you mark off your school. Then you take up your little paper and you place it along your scale. Once you place it along your scale, then all you do, you read off your answer, write down your answer, and you're good to go. Okay? I can see that people are, well, not people. Swagman, you alright? Alright, so somebody has problems using the scale. I'm coming to that. Let me just repeat for some persons that were not around earlier. So, one, this evening I'm going to upload a video. It's maybe about 5 minutes or so. A video that is going to, the title of the video is How to Remain Calm Before Your Exam. Okay, Swagman, so that one is yours. So it gives you some tips on how to remain calm, especially before your first exam, what you need to do, and how you can ensure that you are mentally ready, not just academically ready, like you have been preparing, but for you to be mentally ready so that you don't have an anxiety attack or something. Okay? So that's what we're going to do this evening. I will upload that for you. Then tomorrow, I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow. The live stream tomorrow will not be for me to teach you anything. It will be for you to ask your questions. So you can ask all the questions that you have tomorrow, clear up any misconceptions that you might have, so that you are, by the end of the day, you would have been confident enough to say, all right, my questions were answered, I feel like I'm ready, and then we're good to go. Then now, in the afternoon, we are not going to do anything. You are going to go to bed, and so will I. We're going to go to bed early, but before you go to bed, you're going to prepare all of your stuff that you need for Wednesday morning. And then you're going to wake up real early Wednesday morning to get to school. I will also need to get to school Wednesday morning so that I can just, give my kids a thumbs up, let them know that I'm outside and I'm just waiting for them to finish so that they can tell me about it, and then I can just tell them that they did great, because I know that they will do great. So that is the plan for the rest of the week. And then now when your exams are finished, I am expecting a whole bunch of updates. You can tell me how it went, tell me what you did, tell me, well, hopefully nobody will tell me what they mess up, because you will not mess anything up. I am speaking it into being. Yes. If you can drop an amen for that one, we will not mess anything up. And then your geography exam would have been finished. Then I will jump right into preparing videos for and doing past papers and crash courses for the social studies students. So we will get into that after. So that's what we're going to do for the next couple of days. Okay. So this is where we are now with the straight line distances. All right. So I see the amens coming in. We will not mess anything up. So for the straight line distances, so the question will give you 2 points. So for this question, for example, for this image that we have here, the question would be, what is the distance between X and Y? So these are your 2 points. First thing that you do, you connect your 2 points. Somebody says we're getting a short celebration. I don't know. Maybe we can do a live party. I don't know. Okay. All right. So we would connect these 2 points here. After we've connected our 2 points, by the way, you don't have to connect your 2 points. You don't have to draw the ruler out and take the pencil up and connect your 2 points. You don't necessarily have to do that. On the paper ones, you are trying to save time. So what you would do then, you would get your strip of paper and you would place your strip of paper here, and then you would mark off on your paper and mark off on your paper for this one. Next thing you're going to do, you're going to lift up your strip of paper and then you're going to place it along your scale. So your scale is going to be a linear scale that you are using. For the measuring distances, you'll be getting a linear scale. This linear scale that you are using, there's a truck passing. Hold on. The linear scale, you would place your paper at the zero to start your measurement, and then you basically, just like on a ruler, you just measure off where it stops, just the same way as you would do it on a ruler. So basically, your linear scale is your ruler, and you are taking up the strip of paper and you are just measuring it on your scale. That is it. And then you just look for your answer in the options that they give to you, and you would have completed your measuring of your straight line distance. Another thing that is usually on the paper one relating to map work is intervisibility. Basically, it is asking, or it is talking about your ability to stay at one area and see the other area. So what you're going to do where that one is concerned, you simply look for the contour lines, look for what the measurements are, and then once you look for what the measurements are, you will be able to see which one is highland, which one is lowland. So let us say you have a 100-meter height, and they ask you which one of the options you'd be able to see from one area to the next, or which one is intervisible. So if you are at a 100-meter height and you are trying to see your friend's house, which is also at a 100-meter height, because these would have been labeled with the contour lines. If you're also trying to see your friend's house at a 100-meter height, the only way you will be able to see your friend's house is if there is not a higher piece of land in between the two of you. So if you have a higher piece of land that is, say, 150 meters, it means then that that higher land would have been blocking your vision from actually seeing your friend's house. If, however, the piece of land that is in between your house and your friend's house is, say, 50 meters, you're at 100, your friend is at 100, then it means that you would be able to still see your friend's house without your vision being blocked. So that is what intervisibility is. We have seen a couple of those, not a couple of those, like maybe one question like that on each paper, but the point is it is on quite a number of papers, so it is very possible that you can see a question relating to that. Other questions relating to map work, well, the ones that I've shown you already, those are the ones that are major and would pop up a lot on the multiple choice exams. Another one is the calculation of time. So you may be shown a map with different points, and you are asked to calculate the time if the time at one place is such and the time at another place is such. In order to do that, there are just some things that you just have to remember in order to calculate it. Okay? For that, you need to remember, well, we've seen that in relation to the calculation of time, this question or things relating to longitude and time can come as a regular question without you having to tell the time. For example, you may see a question that asks you which of these is correct in relation to time, and it says 1 degree equal 4 minutes, 4 degree equal 1 minute, 24 hours equal, I don't remember what else, but some options like those, and you're supposed to pick the one that is correct. something like that. So you may see questions relating to those where calculating where longitude and time is concerned. And then you will see other questions that are actually asking you to calculate the time. For real, you can check some of the past papers that we have done before. It is almost on, like every other past paper, there is a question relating to longitude and time. All right. Um, for the calculation of time now, the things that you need to remember, yes, 1 degree equal 4 minutes. Don't get that mixed up. We have seen that question a couple of times before, and I remember some of the students were mixing it up. They were saying they were saying it the other way around. So it is 1 degree equal 4 minutes. Okay? So relating to the how you actually calculate the time. We know that 1 degree equal 4 minutes. We know that 15 degrees equal 1 hour. These are things that cannot change. These are just things that you need to remember. So let's go again. 15 degrees equal 1 hour. You need to pay attention to how the longitude lines are numbered. So sometimes they are not numbered by 15 degrees. They may be numbered at 30 degrees. Either way, it remains the same where we say 15 degrees equal to 1 hour regardless. Okay? So that means that for 30 degrees, that would have been 2 hours. Next thing that will not change is the fact that 1 degree equals to 4 minutes. So that will also remain constant. The other thing is that once you are going towards the east, it means that you are going to be adding time. So every 15 degrees that you move towards the east, you're just continually adding an hour. Yes, I know that the slideshow is still on maps and distance. I do not have a slideshow on longitude and time. Is it that you're not understanding from what I'm saying and you actually need to see something in relation to longitude and time? I don't have a slideshow on longitude and time. Okay? So I'm just telling you what to expect. All right. So we have 15 degrees equal 1 hour. 1 degree equal 4 minutes. Once you are going towards the east, then you are going to be adding time. And once you are going towards the west, then you are going to be subtracting time. Those are the things that you need to remember specifically in order to figure out what the answer is. Now, since it is a multiple choice, it is really easy for you to use like a number line to calculate your answer. So, number line like you would do in maths, just the same. You would move from one point to the next. So you're doing it at 15-degree intervals. So that means you are doing it in relation to hours. So if you jump by 15 degrees, that means you're jumping by an hour. If you jump to the east by 15 degrees, it means you're adding an hour. If you jump to the west by 15 degrees, it means you're subtracting an hour. That is all. Okay? Yeah, so sun comes up from the east and ends at the west. Hence east you add and the west you subtract. Yeah. So once you remember these key things, you will be good for the calculation of time question. In terms of when they give you a question where the day will change, don't sweat it too much either. The only thing you need to do just the same, just jump and count like a number line just the same, and minus your hours, or add your hours or add your hours, and you will see if it is the same day or it is the next day, and you'll be able to write your answer. That is exactly how you will do it as well. If that is exactly how you will do it as well if you are trying to get AM or PM. So just count it out like you're in primary school and like you're 10 years old. Well, don't make any noise in the exam, but just count it out in your brain and on your fingers like you are doing a number line to actually jump per hour, and then you will see if it is AM, if it is PM, if it is the same day or it is the next day. All right? So don't overthink it. Just work with the main things that will never change. So whatever it is that they give to you, those things will not change. You just use those to figure out your answer. All right? Let me know if you are understanding those. Let me see. If you have any other questions relating to compass or angular bearing, well, any of the topics that we've done already, you can let me know. All right, so most people are saying they understand, so that means we're good. Do you have any questions, bearing? Can you go over the example we did? Okay, bearing, okay. All right, hold on. So, all right, so we'll go over bearing. I'll just talk you through the points, because if you remember the steps for the bearing, then you will be perfectly fine once you remember the steps. So I will talk you through that. Grid reference, I will talk you through that as well. Does the contour line determine the features on the map? Yes, they do. The contour lines, they show you what features are there. They can tell you if a river is there. They can tell you if it's an interlocking spur. They can tell you if it is a valley, if it is a hill, if it is a mountain, if it is a ridge, steep slope, convex slope, all of that. All right, so let us go to, hold on. All right, so for bearing, there are certain steps that we're going to do for bearing, which are similar to compass direction. The only time we change anything is when we take up the protractor and we are ready to actually measure. Yeah? So your question for your bearing would say, they would give you two places. One of them where you're starting from, and the other one where you're finding the direction of. So the question may say, what is the angular bearing of A from B? Just by looking at the question, you identify your starting point, which in this case would have been B. So if I'm starting from B, you picture it as if I am standing at B. So if I'm standing at B, you're now asking what is the direction from where I am standing to the other place. So that is why we would draw the north-south line exactly where you are starting. So you can picture your head as the north arrow there, and picture your feet as the south arrow, and then your hands, when you have them stretched out, would have been east and west. So that is where you're standing, that is your starting point. Next, you are going to connect your starting point with the other point that you are finding. So you draw a line to connect those 2 points. After you've connected those 2 points, then you would end up with an angle that you need to measure. So you take out your protractor, place your protractor on your north-south line, and then you just write down whatever number it is that the line passes through. So all of the numbers are there. You just write down whatever number it is that the line passes through. That is your answer. Let me know if you get it now. So just a tip though, for the multiple choice, you may not have to go through all of that if you already know the bearings for the 16-point compass. It will just make it a little easier for you. Okay? So let me know if you understand the angular bearing section now. So the fact that you're not looking at anything and you're just listening to me, it may help it to be, you may be able to visualize it in your brain, so it's easier for you to understand. So let me know if you get it now. All right, so we have so the next one is grid reference. So for grid reference, the purpose of the grid, all right, picture your cell phone. So you're taking a picture and then you're zooming into a particular area on the picture. You zoom into the particular area on the picture because you want to identify a particular spot. Same thing with grid reference. You are trying to identify a particular spot, but you need to be able to give directions to it. So imagine your teacher is in class and they're trying to tell you where on the map to find something. And the teacher have to say that, all right, down to the bottom of the map, over to the left side, beside the trees, and then across the road. That is just too much information and it gets confusing. So in order to make it easier for you to identify where things are located on the map, you draw lines, grid lines, that is equal squares, and then you give each line a number. So each line would have a number. So around the specific area that you're trying to find, you would have 4 lines, which would have created that little box that your specific thing is in. Now, that little box that you have that your specific thing is in order to find out the numbers, in order to write down your 4-figure grid reference, on that same box, you pretend like you're writing a capital letter L on the same box. So you draw your line, come down. Whatever that line is numbered, that's the first number that you write. Then you draw your line to go across for your capital letter L. Whatever that line is numbered, that is the second set of numbers that you write down, and then you would have ended up with your 4-figure grid reference. Once you have the 4-figure grid reference locked, then it will be easy for you to figure out a 6-figure grid reference if that is what the multiple choice question is asking for. So you can look inside the options for the multiple choice question and you can start the process of elimination. So you can eliminate the ones that do not fit with your 4-figure grid reference so that you can easily figure out what your answer is. Sometimes your answer would already be there without you having to go any further. Other times it will give you maybe only 2 options that you need to check now to see which one is correct. So after you found your 4-figure grid reference, then you would need to identify which one of the options is correct by looking for the 6-figure grid reference. So since you've done your easting lines first, then you would do your you would continue in the same direction, draw some more vertical lines in the same direction as your easting lines would have been going. You number these lines same direction as the easting lines would have been going. You number them towards the east so that you are able to figure out what your third number is for the easting side. And then you do the same thing for the northern side. You draw some lines just the same. These need to be equal lines. So you draw 9 lines, which would give you 10 spaces. And you number them from 0 all the way to 9. And then you would be able to figure out in exactly which one of these grid squares your point that you're looking for falls into. So when you're doing the paper one, you don't have enough time to be going through and cutting up grid squares and measuring that it is even and all of that. That is why it is so important to ensure that you know the 4-figure grid reference so that you can practice the elimination process so that you can actually pick your answer correctly. Okay? No, north and south. Hold on. No, north and south does not affect the time. That is why we have longitude and time. So it is just east and west alone that we're working with in relation to time. Life with Javel, for the question that you're asking me to look at, you can send it in the Discord server that we are using for geography so that we can actually see the question that you're talking about and then we can answer it. So just screenshot the question, send it in the Discord server, and then we can answer it from there to see which question you are talking about. All right. Okay, I think we are good. If there are no other questions, I think we would have completed the map reading section that would pop up most times on the multiple choice paper. So yeah, Swagman, you get it. That's very nice. If you have other questions, you can send them in the Discord server. Sometimes it's a whole lot of questions, so it may take a while to be answered, especially if you send them on Instagram. I will respond to you definitely. If you send them in the Discord server, sometimes before I can respond to you, somebody else respond to you as well. So you can follow me on Instagram, just the same for the persons who are on the live. If you've not subscribed yet, please go ahead and do so. Yeah, even after your exam, if after your geography exam will be here, it's not just geography that we do. We have general educational tips, how to pass your exam, how to study, how to set up your study timetable, how to find your learning style to ensure that you learn best when you go in a classroom, things like that. So we have a lot more things than just geography, but we're just doing a lot of geography now because we know that you have your CXC exams. And then after your geography exam, I'm going to jump into doing social studies in preparation for the July 21 exam for social studies. All right? Are there any other questions? Tyrese, you don't get a school ID? You would just take your school ID with you. That is what they normally ask you to use. Or you can take your passport with you, but you have to get that sorted out before Wednesday morning, though. So you have to get that sorted out tomorrow to be sure that you can use it. Okay? No, I don't do HSB. You don't have, oh, so you don't have a school ID. So what is it that the other persons in your school is using? What are they using? Or school don't have an ID. So what are the other kids using? Are the other students using a passport? So if that's what they're using, then you can use it as well. No passport, but no photo ID at all. Yes, I'm gonna do social studies next. So your exam is Wednesday, so probably Thursday morning I'll just jump into the social studies with the crash courses and so. So we'll get some more work done. Um, well, if your school never uses an ID, then just go to school and do your exam. Then you're good. But in Jamaica, though, we do have, they are required to take an ID to their exam. An ID, the timetable, and the other materials that they're going to be using. Okay? Okay, great. You're welcome, guys. I wish you all the best. So I will upload that video later that will assist you with your anxiety issues, your nervousness. That will help you out. And then tomorrow, you can prepare your questions, etc., so that tomorrow we can just get into the questions and you can ask your questions, clear up any things that you have questions about, and then you will be ready for your exam. So within the 1 week, we would have completed crash course on everything already. So you're good to go. Okay. I had already posted the link for the tips for the geography exam. Wait, that's the one for how to study last minute. Let me post the link for the tips for the geography exam for you so that you can look at that one as well because that will certainly help you. So in the chat section right now, I have the one that is telling you about how to study last minute. So you would realize that we basically did all of those things in the last 2 weeks. So you don't have to use it for geography alone. You can use the same strategy for your other upcoming exams. So you would have been prepared for them just the same. So here is the link now for this link that I'm sending now. That is the one for the geography multiple choice exam tips. So you can ensure that you go ahead and watch those. You are welcome, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.